Okay, short and sweet, getting a prop off your boat. I work on tournament ski boats from the 80s and 90s. This might pertain to other boats that have a similar setup with a tapered shaft. Step one, get your pliers, take your cotter pin off the shaft, your drive shaft. And then to get your nut off, I recommend a long extension. I use 1/2-inch drive. This allows you to get past your rudder. Not all boats have an offset rudder. This one does not. It's a 1984 Mastercraft. But it's offset enough, or there's enough room there to get an extension directly to your nut. The shaft is pulled forward for other reasons on this boat, but you can imagine what I'm saying. So get your ratchet in there. You can support your propeller from turning with a block of wood down to the floor or something of that nature. Be careful, you don't want to mess up your prop. Really, the best way to go is get your favorite impact and zap that nut off. It shouldn't be on there very tight. About 50 foot-pounds is what it should be on there, so it should come off with ease. Once you've got that off, do yourself a favor, leave all of your 3-jaw pullers and all of your other random universal style pullers that you have in your toolbox there. Don't use them. You will wind up fighting yourself and your tools and being irritated. Do yourself a favor, get yourself one of these Acme prop pullers. This is a model 228S or something similar. They work beautifully. They slip in behind the prop and you can use the extension again and run it in. It should pop your prop off. If it's been on there since the early 80s or 70s and has become one with the boat, you may have to rattle on this baby pretty darn tight, and even then it may not want to go, and you may have to tap gently on this puller shaft to try to shock it. If that doesn't work, maybe take a break, let it sit. Sometimes they'll pop just from sitting under tension, and after you've taken a break, come back and you could try heating gently on your prop. You could try gently tapping things. Nothing's working, go back, maybe put a little more tension on your puller as much as you feel comfortable with. You can use other pullers to get props off, and you're going to have mixed results. If you get the right tool, you're going to get the right result. So pick your poison on that. Pretty simple on getting your prop off. So for reassembly, you want to, the critical thing, first of all, take your prop. If it's a new prop, just put it on your shaft without this cotter pin or drive pin rather, keyway, and just kind of nest it onto the shaft, and it should stick. Like that tapered fit should stick to the shaft, and it might even kind of want to get stuck there. You may have to use the puller to take it back off, or you can just kind of wiggle it off or tap it off gently. And that lets you know that your taper is good and the prop is married nicely to the shaft. Next thing, you want to put your key back in without the shaft or the prop, and make sure it nests in completely and freely in the shaft. And you want that to be free. You don't want it to be sticking up at all, because it can cock your prop, and then your prop will install improperly and you'll have vibration, and it may even come loose later on. So make sure your key is free and sliding nicely in the groove on the shaft and in the prop here. You can see on this one, it's tight a little bit. Now I got it in there, now it's free, but these over time, or if you have a different prop, they can become slightly misshapen, or they get a little burr on them and they want to stick. And then if they're not seated in all the way, then that's going to prevent that taper from marrying properly, and you'll have issues. So make sure that key is free. Slide it on the shaft, slide your prop on. You want the keyway to be out close to where the threads are on your shaft, because if you push that keyway too far forward on the shaft, let me show you here. On the shaft here is a ramp. If that keyway gets pushed forward as you're pushing your prop onto that ramp, obviously it's going to wedge, and then your prop can be driven on to the keyway and it's not married properly to this tapered shaft. And you might not know it. You'll lock everything down and it's not installed correctly. So make sure your keyway, your key is sitting back here, close to where the threads are when you start assembling. And after you push that prop on, then you can verify that by looking at your prop and seeing that that key is close. It can be inside a little bit, but you want it close to the end of your prop. After that, lock your nut down. For these tournament style ski boats with an inch or inch and an eighth shaft, I recommend 50 foot-pounds. Where did I get that number? I got it from the prop manufacturers. Acme and Johnson both recommend about 50 foot-pounds. So lock it down, put your cotter pin in. I would advise yourself or your boat owner that after they've operated the boat for a while to at least check the nut. Best thing would be to put a torque wrench back on it, but at least verify that it's still tight. It should be tight, it shouldn't move, but if for some reason your keyway was installed incorrectly or something else happened and that prop did for whatever reason come loose, you want to catch it before damage is done. Get out on the water, enjoy yourself.